We thought we were celebrating a decade of love, until the camera meant to capture memories exposed the biggest betrayal of our lives.
Welcome to Infidelity Truths. Before we dive into today's gripping story, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more thrilling stories just for you. Let's begin.
I grew up in a warm and loving family where support was always present. Even after moving out of my parents' home, the bond between us remained strong. Family gatherings were cherished, and meeting up with relatives created countless fond memories. From a young age, I dreamed of starting my own family. I was lucky to grow up alongside my best friend, Marcusa, brother in every sense except by blood. We went through school, explored the world around us, and even served in the army side by side. Life had a funny way of keeping us closer. Wives turned out to be sisters, which only deepened our connection. Our extended circle of friends and family thrived on openness and regular get-togethers, from field trips to casual meetups. But life has its own way of testing the strength of relationship, and when betrayal found its way in, it shook us to our core. 10 years into our marriages, Marcus and I wanted to celebrate our anniversaries in a fun and unconventional way. After brainstorming, we came up with the idea of a video interview, a mashup of candid photos, behind-the-scenes clips, and humorous commentary. We imagined something lighthearted, like a creative social experiment on marriage. We hired a young freelancer, probably a college student, eager to help us bring our vision to life. We explained our idea, shared our goals, and even asked for suggestions. The freelancer proposed adding everyday moments, like walks with the kids or shopping trips, to show a real, grounded view of married life. Marcus loved the idea. Still, I was unsure how my wife, Camille, would feel about being filmed, even discreetly, so we agreed to keep things respectful. I'd shoot some parts myself, and the freelancer would handle others. We scheduled the main interview for Saturday, a day our wives usually spent shopping and relaxing. That day, I decided to record Camille walking home. Her hair dancing in the breeze, something about her stride always felt magical to me. But what I captured that evening would haunt me forever. Instead of heading home after meeting her sister, Jenna, Camille got into a car. At first, I thought it was a regular ride, but then it turned unexpectedly. My curiosity grew. I followed. She stepped out at an unfamiliar building, bouquet in hand. Then she hugged and kissed a man I had never seen in my life. I froze. My world cracked open. 10 years. 10 years of marriage collapsing before my eyes. My heart raced as questions stabbed through me. Why? When? How? Sure, I wasn't home all the time. And yes, I liked my space. But wasn't that normal? This can't be real, I muttered, immediately calling Marcus. I needed someone to help me make sense of it all. But what he said next chilled me. You too? He had received a video, recorded right before the interview session at the mall. It showed Jenna, his wife, kissing another man, just like Camille, intimate, betraying. That night, Marcus and I sat together, drowning in silence and disbelief, numbing our pain with alcohol. What do we do now? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Marcus didn't hesitate. We show them. Let the world see who they really are. I wasn't sure about revenge, but Marcus had made up his mind. In the days that followed, I buried myself in work. I couldn't face home. On the rare nights I was there, I crashed in the kids' room, too heartbroken to sleep. One thought haunted me endlessly. Are they even mine? Then came the day of reckoning. Both families were invited to a rented cafe under the guise of an anniversary celebration. Everyone gathered. The lights dimmed. The video began. At first, it was charming smiling wives, sweet interviews, laughter. Then it turned. Footage of Camille and Jenny embracing, kissing other men played before our stunned families. The room fell silent. Happy anniversary, I muttered, swallowing a shot of whiskey. Camille barely reacted. Calm, cold, sipping wine. Jenna, on the other hand, exploded. Accusations flew. She tried to shift blame onto Marcus, shouting, crying before fleeing the room in shame. I turned to Camille. Is there anything you want to say to me? She shrugged. You've seen it all. What's left to say? I'm just tired. Her indifference hit harder than betrayal, but I had to ask one final question. Are the children mine? Another shrug. That gesture shattered everything. The divorce was brutal, but the truth came out. My eldest son wasn't biologically mine. It tore me apart. Still, when I looked into his eyes full of confusion and hurt, I saw my son. Biology couldn't erase the love I had for him. I raised him. I am his father. As for Camille, our bond was irreparable. Marcus found some slashes. Children were his. A tiny light in his darkness. Through the pain, through the chaos, Marcus and I leaned on each other. Our families, despite the wounds, held us up. Now, I don't dream of a big, happy family anymore. All I want is peace, whatever form it takes. It had been months since the video played at that cafe. Months since the truth shattered everything I once called home. Life had changed. The laughter was gone. The silence in my house was deafening. Camille had moved out, and I was left to piece together the fragments of a life I never expected to rebuild alone. Marcus and I still met up often. Our friendship had morphed into something deeper, a lifeline. We were brothers in pain now. While he tried to keep things normal for his kids, I was caught in a mess of custody arrangements, therapy sessions, and endless paperwork. Every time I dropped off my kids at Camille's new place, I felt like a stranger visiting a home that was once mine. One rainy evening, Marcus called. "You free?" "Yeah," I said, not even asking why. He showed up with a box in hand. "I need to show you something." Inside were old photos. Our families at the beach, backyard barbecues, smiling wives, laughing children. "We were blind, weren't we?" Marcus muttered. I nodded, staring at one picture where Camille was holding our son, smiling like everything was perfect. "We believed in the dream," I said. "Yeah, but maybe it was never real for them." Just as I was about to close the box, something slipped out, a small envelope with my name on it. I froze. "What's that?" Marcus asked. "I don't know," I said, slowly opening it. Inside was a letter from Camille. "If you're reading this, then you've already found out the truth. I don't expect forgiveness. I know what I did, but you deserve to know why. It wasn't about love. It wasn't about passion. It was about feeling invisible, forgotten, like I didn't matter anymore. You were always gone, always working, always busy. I was lonely, and I made terrible choices. I'm sorry. But the children, please don't doubt your bond with them. You're the only father they've ever known, and you're the best man I ever met. I just wasn't the woman you needed." I stared at the words, my hands trembling. Marcus leaned back. "Well, that's a lot to unpack." Later that night, I sat in the kids' room watching them sleep. No matter what Camille had done, she was right about one thing: they were my kids. I couldn't let my bitterness destroy that. But just when I thought the storm had passed, another twist hit me hard. One Saturday afternoon, I got a call from an unknown number. "Hello? Is this Jordan Thompson?" the voice asked. "Yes, who's this?" "My name is Ava. I think I might be your daughter." The air left my lungs. "What? What are you talking about?" She hesitated. "My mom passed recently. Before she died, she told me you were her first love. She said you never knew she was pregnant. She didn't want to ruin your life." My heart pounded. "What's your mother's name?" "Eloise," she said. My world tilted. Eloise, the girl I dated just before enlisting. We had lost touch. I had no idea. I asked to meet, and when I saw Avatal, with my eyes and my mother's smile, I knew. There was no denying it. She was mine. Marcus couldn't believe it when I told him. "So, you lost one child and gained another." "Yeah," I whispered. "Life's cruel and kind all at once." As Ava slowly became part of my life, something shifted in me. Not everything was broken. Some things could still be beautiful, just in a different way. Camille eventually moved to another city, and the kids stayed with me most of the time. I set up a routine, took time off work, and finally learned how to be there. Fully, present. As for Marcus, he started seeing someone, an old college friend who reached out after hearing what happened. He was hesitant at first, but slowly, piece by piece, he allowed himself to feel again. We both had scars, yes, but we were still standing. So guys, life can knock you down harder than you ever imagined. But you've got to stand up anyway. It had been nearly a year since the fallout, the exposed betrayals, the divorces, the dust finally settling. Life had found a strange rhythm again. I was raising my kids, bonding with Ava, my newly discovered daughter, and learning to breathe again. Marcus seemed lighter these days. He was dating someone, Naomi, a kind and thoughtful woman he'd known back in university. She brought peace to his chaotic world. And for once, I saw my friend laugh without bitterness in his eyes. But peace doesn't last forever. It was a rainy Thursday afternoon when Camille reappeared. I was at home, helping my son with his homework when the doorbell rang. I opened it and there she was. Drenched, makeup smudged, her eyes red. "Can we talk?" she asked softly. I hesitated. Every part of me wanted to slam the door, but the kids were watching. I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. "What are you doing here, Camille?" She clutched her bag tightly. "I need your help." I scoffed. "Help? After everything?" Her lips trembled. "I have breast cancer." The words hit like a punch. My anger, my bitterness, they all stood still for a second. "I'm not asking for pity," she continued. I don't have anyone else. Jenna moved abroad. My parents aren't speaking to me. I'm not here to destroy what's left of your peace. I just want to see the kids before it's too late." I didn't say a word. I couldn't. I let her in temporarily. Marcus was furious when he found out. She lied. She cheated. And now she wants sympathy? "She's dying, man," I said. "And the kids deserve the truth." He shook his head. "You're a better man than me." That night, I told the kids. My youngest cried. My eldest, not biologically, mine was the first to run to her and hug her. Days turned into weeks. Camille's presence became more frequent. We set boundaries. She stayed at her cousin's, but visited the kids under supervision. One evening, after she left, Ava approached me. "Dad, do you think she's really sick?" "What do you mean?" "I don't know. Something about her feels off. Her behavior, her phone calls, the way she flinches when I ask questions." I didn't want to believe it, but the seed of doubt had been planted. The next morning, I called a contacted doctor friend and asked him to run her hospital details through the system. What came back broke whatever sympathy I had left. There was no cancer diagnosis, no treatments, nothing. She lied. Again. I confronted her. "Why, Camille? Why would you fake something like this?" Tears welled in her eyes. "Because it was the only way you'd let me near them again. I lost everything. I wanted my children back. I wanted you to see me as a person again." I was stunned. "So you lied to your own children? Do you even realize what you've done?" She cried, begged, pleaded, but it didn't matter anymore. I filed for full custody the next day and won. As for Ava, she'd quietly begun digging into her late mother's things. What she found next blew everything wide open. One night, she handed me an old journal. "You need to read this." In the pages were detailed entries about my father, about how he had tried to pay her mother to stay silent about the pregnancy, about how he offered to send her away, threatened her, and made sure she never reached out to me. My father, the man I had always admired, had buried the truth. I confronted him. He didn't deny it. "I was protecting your future," he said. "No," I replied. "You were protecting your pride." I walked away from him that day, unsure if I'd ever walk back. So here I was estranged from my father, raising children from broken trust, building something new with a daughter I never knew I had, and watching Marcus finally find peace in Naomi's arms. But this story, it's far from over. Because someone else from the past is about to show up. And this time, it's not Camille. Months passed since Camille's final deception was uncovered. Her fake illness, her Liz-It, all left a permanent scar. But life, in its strange way, keeps moving forward, no matter how broken you feel. I focused all my energy on rebuilding, not just my life, but the hearts around me. My kids slowly regained their joy. I became more than just a provider. I became present. I learned how to listen, how to be there, how to be enough. Ava and I grew closer. What started as an awkward reunion turned into a genuine father-daughter bond. She started calling me Dad without hesitation. Hearing that for the first time healed something in me that I didn't even know was bleeding. Marcus was still with Naomi. She turned out to be a calm, steady hand in the storm. But even their relationship wasn't perfect. Naomi had secrets too. Nothing devastating, but things that required honesty and healing. And unlike before, Marcus chose to talk, not explode. He was growing. We both were. Then one day, a letter arrived. No name, just my address, and a single line written on the back. Meet me where it all began. I knew instantly it was the park bench by the river. The place Camille and I had our first date. My stomach tightened. Against better judgment, I went. But it wasn't Camille. It was Eloise's sister Ava's aunt. She handed me an old envelope. Eloise wrote this before she died. She wanted you to have it. She hoped one day you'd know. I opened it later that night. Jordan, I never stopped loving you. When I found out I was pregnant, I was terrified but more afraid of ruining your future. Your father made sure I stayed silent. He promised security if I disappeared. I hated him for it. But I never hated you. I watched you from a distance, saw the man you became, and I'm proud of you. So proud. Ava is your mirror kind, thoughtful, and stronger than she knows. Be there for her. Show her the love we never got to finish. I hope one day, when the dust settles, you'll find peace, and maybe, love again. Goodbye, Jordan. I loved you. I always did. I cried. For the time lost. For the life that could have been. But mostly, for the chance I now had to do things right. And that's what I did. I raised my kids. I supported Ava. I forgave my father not for him, but for me. Because holding on to anger only weighed me down. Camille eventually left the country. Her presence faded like a bad dream. The kids asked about her less and less. Marcus and Naomi got married in a quiet ceremony. He asked me to be his best man. I gave a short, honest speech. We've been to hell and back, but love real love it survives. It's not loud, it's not perfect, but it's real. And that's enough. As for me, one morning, at a local bookstore, I met someone. Her name was Lila. She wasn't flashy. She wasn't trying to impress. She was simply kind, gentle, easy to talk to. I don't know what the future holds. But this time, I'm not rushing it. Because now, I finally understand. Healing isn't forgetting. It's remembering without pain. It's trusting again, even after the betrayal. It's loving with wisdom, not fear. And above all, it's choosing peace. So, to everyone who's followed this journey, thank you. If you've ever been hurt, betrayed, or lost in the storm, just know you will find your way back. Not to the life you had, but to something better. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Until next time, stay strong, stay kind, and never stop believing in second chances. The moral lesson of the story. True love and loyalty are tested not in moments of happiness, but in trials of betrayal and pain. While betrayal can shatter trust, it also reveals the strength of character, the depth of real relationships, and the courage it takes to heal. Forgiveness is not forgetting, but freeing yourself. And sometimes peace isn't found in holding on, but in letting go and choosing yourself.